Look at him. He's just dickered. Just dickered, boys. Son of a bitch.
Yo, yo. Class A, and macro. Not connected, not elected to participate. Bouncing down the stems will make your head hurt. Enjoy the takes. Says her whose head burns from hearing horror stories get burnt.
Oh, hey guys, welcome back to Take a Wide, the podcast where I talk to friends and rad people about stuff and why music's dope. What can I say? If you haven't gone to the homepage yet, it's just takeawide.com. Scope it out. Sign up for the newsletter if you can. And if you do that, there's actually exclusive savings that you can have through the sponsors. They gave me a little bit extra as far as what they're willing to take off or whatever their discounts are. But you'll only see that if you participate in the newsletter. So just a way to kind of get people to sign up. So if you haven't, please do. Also, the YouTube page is there if you want to subscribe there. It's kind of a bullshit thing where I need to have 100 subscribers to have a URL that isn't just a bunch of random letters and numbers. So if you haven't, just go click subscribe. Simple. What else? That's pretty much it. I'll just get to the sponsors here. So the first sponsor up is the Heartbeat Hot Sauce. It's fucking so dope that these guys are on Hot Ones, that show. If you haven't heard about it, just YouTube it on YouTube. Google it on YouTube, search for it. And it's an interview show where they have celebrities and the wings get hotter and hotter. It's a really great show. And they have some really kind of high profile celebrities. It's fucking pretty crazy. So they are on that show. They are second of 10, second of 8. And it's my buddy Al from Thunder Bay. He was on episode 221 if you want to listen and get familiar. But it's a great hot sauce. It is the peppers are fermented using traditional methods before being cooked with a few simple high-quality ingredients. They don't add water or thickening agents or chemical preservatives. It's a supernatural sauce. The red habanero is delicious. They did a kind of a tour around Southern Ontario and Montreal, so you can pick it up in some stores. If you go to the homepage, just heartbeathotsauce.com, you can check to see where they're selling the hot sauce. And right now they're doing a promo where you just use promo code TakerWide5 and you'll get 5% off of your cart. So if you get a big order, it will save you some cash. So Heartbeat Hot Sauce, the first sponsor, go buy some of it and go support them. Next up is DFA Tattoos. DFA Tattoos is a tattoo shop in Montreal. They're located at 328 St. Catherine Est. They are a collective of driven and skilled artists. They have a goal, which is just to create the best tattoos. They have all types of artists who can cover all types of art that you want on you, from large scale to the quick walk-in. They cover it all. All the styles from bold, traditional, photorealism, portraits. They have someone there who can help you out. It's a well-informed staff. It's a safe place. Really, it's just a collective of some really talented artists who give a shit about their company. It's really, really cool that they're supporting us. If you guys follow them, it's actually kind of hard to it's just TATOUAGE_DFA_tattoos. Just look in the description. I'll link it there so you can check it out. Or go to dfatattoos.com and you can just see what they have there. So if you're looking for some good tattoo artists and you're in Montreal, go to DFA Tattoos. Very, very rad place. Just say hi when you pop in there. Next up is Kevin Rigo of Hefner Toyota. If you're in the market to buy a new car, I would say I guess if you're in 519 area, go to Kitchener, go to 3121 King Street East and talk to my buddy Rigo. He's an old friend and he's a very solid, trustworthy, reliable guy. So I think if you are a little bit intimidated about buying a new car, go see Rigo. He supports this. He supports the DIY ethic. I've been his friend for a long fucking time, so it's super cool that he's on board to support this. So if you guys are in that market, go see Rigo out in Kitchener. Mention the show and he'll give you special pricing on new vehicles. You can find him on Facebook too. Just search Kevin Rigo of Hefner Toyota. What do we got here? Dapper Beard Oil. They're a beard oil company from Ottawa. Episode 77. I spoke to Andrew. He's the guy behind it. It's 100% natural ingredients. It's all ethically sourced. It'll hydrate your beard. It helps repair. It's antibacterial. It reduces beard dandruff. He has the 3 kinds. If you go to dapperbeardoil.com, you can read about it and find out more. It's a great beard oil. It's not too intense. It's I was gonna say delicious, but that's the wrong word to use for beard oil. It's a good beard oil. Andrew really takes his time. He's been doing it for a couple of years now, so they've been seeing some successes just through online, like Huffington Post and GQ. I think they were in. CBC did a piece on them. It's really good stuff. And if you want to support small business, go pick up a bottle and use promo code TakerWide free ship. You'll get free shipping. So save your money. dapperbeardoil.com. A couple more here. Wellington Brewery. They're Canada's oldest independent-owned microbrewery in Guelph. They craft award-winning beers in small batches using the freshest all-natural ingredients. They take pride in being an active member of the community. They take part in countless events, and they support charitable causes. One of them being the Guelph Wellington Women in Crisis. 25 cents of each can of Queen of Craft Grisette gets donated to that. So very cool. They sponsor the beers. I actually have been sipping their the Current. I just had the bottle here. Against the Current, I believe. It's a kettle sour. Really fucking good. It's really turned me on to some sours. Great beer for the summer. So if you guys are looking for a beer, go grab a Welly. And lastly, Dave Levitt Photography. Dave supported this from the beginning. He's a photographer here in Cambridge. He can do music videos. He can do websites, promos, wedding photos. If you're looking for a photographer, I'd say go find Dave. DaveLevittPhotography.ca. He's the man. So for this episode, I spoke to Mike Crossley. Mike is an old friend of mine, and he used to play in Villepend. He toured with the Sabs. He went to Europe with B-Pigs. He plays in Sago. Maybe there's 1 or 2 more I'm missing, but I really love Crossley, man. He has a lot of love to give, and just a jolly guy. And I was listening to a podcast with him on it, and it made me really fucking miss the guy. So I drove to Toronto. We sat in his apartment, and we shot the shit. So it's I feel like the ones with my friends are a little different than episodes with people that I'm not super familiar with, but it's just some real talk over some beers. So if you enjoy that type of stuff, you'll probably enjoy this episode. So this is 226 with Cross. So hey man, Cross, thanks for having me, man.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, man. I was listening to the Simpson one, and it made me miss you.
Aw.
So I was like, I should just come up and do this.
That was the Simpson one was the first podcast I've been on where I actually listened to the whole thing, because I don't know. So I mean, I'm sure it's a little different for you because you're host all the time, so you get used to hearing your own voice. But like a lot of times, I'd be like, I'll just throw like maybe an episode of Taker Wide on that I was on to like when it comes out to see like what kind of mood I was in or how I sounded or whatever. But then I usually am like, all right, that's enough Crossley for today. but I thought Simpson like I don't know, he did a good job. Like,
you know, I did his as well, and he definitely is a good interviewer. He's thinking like, and he's coming up with cool questions and cool angles.
Yeah,
like
you're more polished because you do it a lot more. Like
you think? I thought he was. I was really impressed with how. Well, thank you. Like I thought he was surprisingly like really well ready.
Yeah, he is. He's a good conversationalist to begin with. I think like that's something like man, when I go to a show and it's like on a Wednesday night and I'm not drinking or whatever, and I'm just like, got to get through playing a show and you got to get through the night. It's always such a relief when Simpson walks in because you're like, oh yeah, I can talk to this. Like he can just go on about whatever. Like you can hang out with him and just like, yeah, he's great.
Yeah, it's funny playing in Muscle with those guys, the Manowar cover band, just because you see the talent those two guys have.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like it's, I it makes me think of the earliest version, or even Tugnut as a whole. Like Kipes and Bergs could play, and I was the weak link. And then with Muscle, it was the same thing because I'm like, holy shit! Like I'm amongst like some serious musicians, and it's great because it's like it elevates me.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking joke cover band. Like imagine if I was actually in a band with those guys. Holy fuck!
They're heavy hitters, man. They're jazz school guys that don't play like jazz school guys. Like they're not like. They took all the fucking knowledge but it goes beyond that, man. They're just talented fucking dudes.
Well, it's a good point because I feel like if you go to school, that could be a detriment because you might be trying to fit yourself in the box of the school learning.
Yeah.
And you're writing boring ass shit, and those guys definitely don't write boring shit.
Yeah, I feel like there's a direction you can go coming out of like a Humber Jazz program where you just get really into like it's like you just turn into like an old man musically like right away. Like you'll see like 23-year-olds like hanging out the Rex like and they don't seem like it's like you miss out on the whole like freedom of just being like a fucking crazy rocker or something like you because you're trying to like be like uber inventive or technical and stuff like that. I don't know what I'm really criticizing here because a lot of them are totally sick and I do love jazz, but like,
well,
there's just
yeah, I could get it. It fast tracks you to a point of so much musical knowledge that if I'm just trying to picture myself doing that I couldn't help but feel. I don't know. I can't say because I was gonna say like maybe some of them feel superior, right?
Yeah,
and
something like that.
But probably not that many. Like that's an assumption. Hey, can I go Skins? I'm fucking.
Oh
hot.
yeah, fucking rip it off, buddy. It's Skins
hot in
time.
here.
I'll throw the. I can even throw the fan on.
Oh whatever. Let me just go Skins.
I'll cool you off here, Steve.
I'm gonna grab this beer here.
Fan.
You need a beer?
I'm good. I just cracked one, man. Let
me try to. Oh fuck! Open this up. This is so rook. I got my Jack Moves bottle opener in the other room, but
did he do bottle openers?
Yeah.
Sick.
Here, let me pause this. Let me get it. Hold up. I'm just gonna go through. I on the way down, I wrote a bunch of questions,
Sweet.
and just to try it because I do that and I never fucking get to it. But recently,
yeah, your shit never sounds like interviews. Like like there's every once in a while you'd be like, oh yeah, there's something I wanted to ask you, but yeah, you never like do the full on interview style.
I was thinking about this. I like doing these with my friends because I can be the most honest because we know each other.
Yeah,
I did one with Muskie that didn't get recorded. That was the deepest we've ever gone, and my audio was fucked up, so it's kind of a shame. But I was looking forward to this because I can talk to you like about my feelings and about like how I think. And recently I've been thinking about how I'm almost like living outside of myself, and I don't know if this is a part of my age or if it's like stress or what, but I feel like I'm just like I'm trying to think of a movie or something where like you're glitching and you're kind of like almost stepping out of your body and coming back in. So there are moments recently where I'm like feeling like absent. Like I'm
you're just going through the motions kind of.
Yeah, and I'm almost like watching myself do it. And I don't know what that's a sign of or what, but like we're kind of the same age. We're kind of in the same boat. We're older music guys that haven't really hit success. And that's like whatever, subjective. But do you ever feel that way? Because I kind of look at you as like a guy who's pretty self-aware.
Yeah, like being present is hard to do, man. Like actually just living in the fucking moment, like it's hard, I think, for a lot of people, especially if you're doing a lot of shit, you know, like Tay's at a like tender age, you know. You've had lifestyle shifts in the last couple years.
And I assume that's what it kind of is I feel I've been going through such a change that I can't, like my mental can't keep up with my physical.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Do you feel absent? Like, do you live in the now?
I know what you're talking about. I think I just kind of it's a weird one. I am pretty present for the most part, but I know what you're saying. I think I struggle mostly with when I do kind of step outside of myself a little bit. It kind of helps me because I look at my life more objectively, and I'm like, hey, this is actually pretty sweet, you know, like. Whereas like I can get a little up in my own head where I start just like get freaking out about, you know, what am I doing?
That's
like,
not what I get.
Yeah, like what, like is this it? Like how much longer do I have to do this before I get that? Maybe comparing shit, like especially if I expose myself to too much like social media and podcasts and stuff, where you start like looking at other people's lives and you're like thinking like, well, you know, do I want to be there? Like you kind of like I actually find it helpful to kind of step outside myself to just observe that it's going pretty good, and just to kind of be thankful for like the shit that is going the way that I want it to.
You embrace it.
Yeah. But it might be a different feeling, like you, because you said something last time we hung out where you were like, you were talking about feeling like Groundhog Day, like, and that was. And that you were just kind of like really happy to just be. I think it was actually we were just hanging out with Muskie when we went to comedy or something like that. And you were like just saying like how nice it was to just shake it up because you felt like you'd been kind of grinding the same day or the same week over and over, like that kind of thing. So is it connected to that? Like, do you start to feel kind of outside of yourself because you're like you're not like. Maybe you're not engaging in like certain types of shit that you used to because of like lifestyle change, and so that you're just kind of looking at it like, whoa.
I think so, man. I think so. And even that coming here to Toronto, Viv was saying like, yeah, I think you need to do that. She was even talking because I'll be real honest with Viv about like I'm getting kind of squirrely and like really and part of that is now manifesting as me kind of being absent. Like I'm doing stuff, but it's just like I'm watching myself do it, and it's scary because I want to be in the moment, especially like when I'm with my kid or just living. Like to have that separation to me is kind of scary. But if you embrace it, like that's kind of why I want to pick your brain on it. It's like I know everyone deals with it, and how people deal with it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean it's interesting. Like we're in pretty different. We have pretty different lives. Like it seems now like we have like fairly different things that we do on the daily, like that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know, like I mean, man, there's been more dialogue about mental health shit like in the last year or so that I've seen either like on social media or in real life. Like I feel like our generation of like especially dudes, we can actually like talk to each other about shit like that, like about how you're feeling and you know, how to deal with like certain struggles like mentally and shit like that to kind of keep yourself, you know, in a good place. Like I don't think our dads were like talking to their bros about
don't
it. Like
think so. And even I'm insular in this group, if that's a word, that all of my buddies can tell each other we love each other. So it's like normal. But I guess I have to recognize that might not be that normal. Or maybe it is. Maybe you're right. I don't
know. Yeah, I'm just like, I feel lucky about that. Like, yeah, just being comfortable and having enough people around you regularly that are like kind of, on the level. Like, they're not putting on a front or anything. You're just you can be yourself and just talk about how you feel and shit like that. But yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, this week's been kind of weird, man. Like I go to therapy on like every other week now, and I just started doing it. I've done like 5, and like that's helped a lot with that kind of like staying present shit, I guess.
Did you go because of you recognize some things, or?
Yeah, I was starting to get squirrely, like for sure. I think once those mid-30s start creeping up, and especially when like I'm maybe not following a traditional path that you would expect for yourself when you're a kid, you know, like just your like life's unpredictable, and you find yourself in a different place than you maybe thought you would be, and then it's easy to like get all just fucked up about it and start and like and like you can end up like I would like drink too much or like just try to find ways to kind of escape that stress. Shit gets real, man, when you hit like 32, 33, 34. Like I just turned 35, and it's like it's not like things that used to be funny aren't funny anymore.
Yeah,
like
and that's kind of sad in itself.
Like, it gets to be a bummer. Like you start to think about like just that heavy shit of like, hey man, like I'm probably over a third of the way done this fucking life now, you know? So like it goes quick, and then you start thinking about, okay, what am I doing with it? And then you don't like no one really is. You have to learn like how to make the most of your time and stuff like that. Like it's easy to just get like swept up in whatever, like it's just shit to help you escape. So it's like it could be video games or just like.
Do you think that's like I recognize that, but I feel that there's a foundation that I'm married in with a kid and have a mortgage that kind of helps offset that. For you, is that like you don't have kids and you're not married? Is that a thing that bugs you?
It's just like I didn't really think about it too much until like the last few years, and now it's like those questions start to pop up, like because to be honest, man, I didn't really have a real trajectory for anything that I wanted to do. I had no I just basically drifted through life like with no goals or anything like that up until a few years ago. Like I just knew what I liked to do, and I just kept doing that. Like I just wanted to play shows and be in a music scene in the city, and like
do you think
that was it? Like
do you think a lot of like music guys are in the same boat? Because like I could be this, because that was my same trajectory, was just like I'm not planning for the future at all. I'm just gonna do this, but then time catches up and you are doing it, but it's like but now what? I am kind of still in that same sort of boat. Like I at least see that I have like I have to raise a human now, so that's gonna keep me busy, right? But I wonder if it's common for like dudes like us our age.
I don't know. That's like a really good question. I think so. I think it's pretty well documented with like there's like books and movies and stuff about that kind of thing. But I think that maybe used to happen to people a little younger. Like you can kind of drag out an adolescence now a lot long, especially like in North America, like where especially like here where it's like we have like socialized health care and like it's a pretty cushy situation where we're living, so you can kind of drag out an adolescent lifestyle as long as you want, right? But then it starts to get like kind of unfulfilling. You're like, what am I doing this for?
Well, shit. So I was thinking go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so that's when you start thinking about shit like I mean, like raising up a beautiful son is a noble purpose for a man's life. That's awesome. Like, so that, I mean, you think like I would think about that, but then you're coming, it's interesting to hear you talking about it because you're coming at it from the other angle where it's like you're starting to feel disconnected from yourself a little bit, and you're just well I had a question that like is later on in the thing, and actually, you know what, I might just kill the live thing. I think it's kind of actually ruining the vibe. Yeah. Right on.
I realize because people are watching.
Yeah, word.
And I want to recognize that. I want to like. There's 3 people.
Budway, hey buddy.
Hey, thanks guys. I'm gonna just take this off. I think we're gonna get real and not have eyeballs on us.
You have to listen later.
This will be up on Monday, so love you guys.
Peace.
What?
I would feel. Imagine like someone that was watching was like, man, I feel this way too. And then we're like, sorry, man. You have to wait till the episode comes out.
What I was going to say is that I had a question about an adult, and like, what does an adult mean? Like as a kid, it's kind of like I used to think of an adult meant security, meant mostly just that. Like when you're an adult, it's just like, okay, now you're on a cart. It's like you were a kid on a bike that had flat tires and this and that. Then you become an adult and you're on this track with metal wheels. That's a smooth track that you can see the end of. But we're adults.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean anything anymore.
No, it once you like get to an age where it's like you're kind of grown, it doesn't. You realize it doesn't really mean anything because you really just have. I mean, we're lucky enough to have the freedom to kind of decide what we do with our lives, and it's like a blessing and a curse, right? Because it's like it's like it could be option paralysis. You're just like, well, okay, now what do I do? Like, I guess I'll,
That's kind of it.
Yeah, you just have to give yourself purpose, because if you don't, then you can just become lost so easily, and I think you get really sad, man, for sure. But then when if you find a purpose and you start grinding at whatever it is, then you can kind of lose yourself in that a little bit too, where you have to kind of take a breath every once in a while.
It's almost like you distract yourself from existing. Like you're if you're existing doing nothing. Like nobody, like the thing I think we forget, or I forget, or we forget, is that we're so in our own heads, and we can't really, like, we have conscious and we are going through life, but we are just organisms. We're just mammals, and you have to have a fucking purpose, and things are almost too cushy where nobody has a purpose. Like, we don't have to cook, we don't have to, we work, but that's nothing. That's
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, think of the animal kingdom. Like, a thing has a purpose, and it might just be simply to survive, and ours was that too. But yeah, we got it too cushy, where maybe that's where all this mental health stuff is coming from.
Dude, it's crazy that you're bringing this up right now, because I've been kind of like thinking about this so much lately. It's like, if I just sit and my job's easy. I push pixels around, right? Like, I just make show posters and, like, send emails. If I do that for too long and I'm sitting down, I feel really weird and, like, just not even, just very, very strange and unnatural. And the best thing I do, my favorite part of my day, is when I go for a walk and with the dog, and, like, even if it's shitty out or whatever, it's just like going outside and, like, engaging and, like, moving around and getting their blood pumping, just even having a mission, like having something to make your time feel valuable is, like, so important. Like,
it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be. There's days when, like, we kind of pursue this comfort, right? We're looking for, like, the least amount of, like, the path of least resistance a lot of time, like, you're looking for some, for ways to subvert, like, work. Like, no one wants to go and fucking turn soil in a field for 14 hours a day. But damn, do you feel good when you finish that job, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you set yourself up, like, for right now, I'm like, look for challenges, man. Like, it's probably part of the reason why the grind of, like, you guys, like, grinding it out on the road and stuff like that, was, even though it was a nightmare some days, like, it gives you this sense of, hey, we're out here making art, we're doing something. Like, you're putting yourself into a rigorous situation in order to feel alive.
Well, I think like, part of me sometimes feeling absent is, right now I realize that I'm playing the long game in raising Tay. Like, it's like 18 years. But the day-to-day kind of becomes, like, it's definitely beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Like, when we have moments, it's really beautiful. It's a thing that is its own special thing that you can't describe. But at the same time, it is monotonous in a way. There's a schedule. We get up, we do our breakfast, we do this, we do that. And it's tiny little millimeters at a time on a big fucking 10,000 kilometer road. So I know the road is important, but in the day to day, I don't get that same sort of, like, I'm doing something. I know I'm doing something. I'm raising him, but it's an abstract thought, because it's like it's such small day to day moments, moment to moment things that it's hard for me sometimes to feel that same sense of purpose, which is fucked
Yeah.
because it's like a very clear purpose.
So
Like
what
I'm
do
a
you-
dad now.
Yeah. What do
It's a
you do
bummer.
to kind of like I know like you're at the gym most days, right? Like, do you feel?
At the gym, sorry?
Yeah, you exercise a lot, right? Like,
No, I don't.
Yeah.
And when I say it's a bummer, it's a bummer that I feel that way. Like raising my son isn't
Yeah.
a bummer. It's a bummer that I'll be like, man, I wish I felt bigger about what I'm doing. But no, I don't.
Yeah.
I'll exercise in the morning a little bit, but I
Yeah.
don't do exercise.
Yeah, I was wondering if because maybe like just something like that where you're like working towards like, hey, like I want to get like you can see little bits of progress, whereas like that kind of stuff is really helpful. Like even
Is that what you do? Do you do like little?
I don't not with exercise. Like it helps me to sometimes just like I guess work like trying to actually be serious about playing my instrument. And just like hitting that, like, are you and Mark in like once a week or twice a week or something like that, or
we do like 3 times a week maybe.
Yeah.
Which is good.
like
And
how do you feel after that?
Great, man.
Yeah.
I that's the thing I realize now is that I need to do certain things, minimum things.
Yeah.
Like if a perfect day for me is spend the time with Tay, we hang out, we play, we learn, we do shit like that. Then I get a jam in,
Yeah,
and if I can read a little bit
yeah,
and also do stretches,
yeah.
that to me is I'll go to bed happy. I'll go to bed happy.
Yeah,
If I
just-
don't do one of those things, I get shitty. I feel shitty.
Yeah, for sure. You got to do that. And then like even if it's like, hey, maybe you'll feel a little bit selfish by just being like, hey, I got to do this for myself right now. In the long run, it's better for your family and everybody around you because you're just a fucking better version
Yeah.
of yourself, right? So
You-
it,
like,
like,
yeah.
like just, I mean that might be I think that's the essence of it is like finding something that gives you a feeling of purpose and making sure to just keep that consistently something that you do so you don't get that feeling of being just disconnected and you're
Big
like
time, man.
floating through life. Yeah, for
Big
sure.
time. Like I think everybody needs to feel like they have a purpose, and I think a big thing is trying to improve on yourself is really important.
Yeah.
But that's really hard to do because that requires self-control and requires discipline,
Yeah.
which is fucking when you don't have the energy to do anything. It's hard to stay focused to keep like a regiment of
Yeah.
any sort of schedule. But I know that helps me when I can be disciplined and do these things that are self-improvement. If I'm
Yeah.
practicing, that's self-improvement. If
Yeah.
I'm reading, that's self-improvement. If I'm
Sometimes it's
stretching,
like getting yourself just to do it. Once you're there doing the thing, it's like, oh yeah, I love doing this. Why the fuck did it take me so long to like get my ass over there to do it? It's so
there's
weird.
a lot of distractions, man, like
Yeah.
internet,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, that's
Where do you waste the most of your time?
Instagram for sure.
Like how much a day? 2 hours a day?
No, like an hour, over an hour though, for sure. Yeah, look. There's this book called The War of Art, called by Stephen Pressfield, and it's been recommended by a million people. But
I haven't read it, but
it's really awesome. I just finished it. I'll send it with you.
Oh,
when you
word.
leave. Yeah, but it talks about resistance and basically just like the hardest part of anything is just fucking getting yourself to do it. And then once you're in it, you usually enjoy it. Like me and Kelly usually go to yoga on date nights, and like she likes doing yoga. I don't like the act of doing yoga. I find it painful and it's like torture. But when I'm done it, I'm like, oh man, I feel so good. And and like the hardest part, like while I'm doing it, I'm kind of like, oh, when's this gonna be over? But like, it just feels so good when you're done, man. And like, and that's the same kind of thing. Like, maybe I have to go up to my rehearsal that's like up on DuPont and Dufferin. It's a little further away from my neighborhood, and it would be so easy for me to it would be so easy for me to
skip it.
to not skip it, but like jump on the TTC or something, or like wait till the last minute and hop a cab up there or something like that instead of getting on my bike. And it's literally the hardest part is just getting my fucking bike off my bike rack and sitting on it. And as soon as I'm on it, I'm like, I love riding a bike. What was stopping me? Like, what is that laziness? And it's like, it's that resistance thing. It's like, for some reason, it's, from what I understand from this book, it's like, it's the result of an old like fight or flight function where it's like your mind trying to be avert risks.
Huh.
Where it's like just something built into us, and it can come with like physical activities.
So you think
art,
that's where laziness
music.
comes from? Is that trying to avert crisis?
Yeah, laziness I think is just an aversion to discomfort, right? It's like you just want to be, if you're comfortable with where you're at and you're able to convince yourself that you're comfortable with a lack of motion, then
That's almost like a
that,
safe space.
yeah,
like
it feels safe, but it's actually awful because your brain starts to melt, man. Like you're talking about, you start to go crazy, man. Like it's really awful. Like working alone, even in here, like, you know, I'm in this room at least 6 hours a day during the week working on my business and shit, and like.
Which is weird because that's
easy.
something that you're doing. It's a resistance, like it's a struggle, but it's a weird one because like we're physical beings, and it's like we don't live in the digital space. So so I could kind of get why, although you're working on like your own thing, it's not.
But it's like you're saying with like, you could be something that you love. Like, yeah, it's my thing. I'm building it up. I could see the progress. It's cool. But on the bigger scale, but on the day to day, it's just fucking typing and moving pixels around. It's like you're saying, it's like you're not getting that like rush of like, hey, I'm accomplishing something. Really.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So it's the grind, right?
But
you just
music
have to
does that
stick
for
to
you,
it.
right? Like
for sure, man. Yeah.
Like after you jam, how do you feel?
Wasted. No, I'm just kidding. Good.
Like it's still a healthy thing for you, right?
Yeah.
Because like honestly,
that's
Cross,
the best,
man, like there are times where I worry about you, man.
Yeah.
I hope you're okay. Like I don't know if you're like me, but like I'm a sensitive guy, and I know you're hustling, but if any time, and I love you for this, where you post positivity, you know, and but I always hope you're okay.
Yeah.
And that might be only because you're putting it out there that like, hey, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, oh, is he okay? If
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are quiet, I'm not really they don't blip on my radar.
Yeah.
But like I hope music is doing still what it did for you as a kid, as it does for me. Like, you know, and that's kind of, I think, partly why I was excited to come see you, is just to kind of get a feel of like, how is my friend doing?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think like social media is a really good window into anyone's life at all. It's just a version of yourself that you kind of put out there to kind of show people that, hey, it's like honestly, it reads to me like most people's social medias read like a resume. Like you're just like, here are the best parts of me.
Here's how I think you think I am.
Yeah, or something. I mean, the way I would use it, like I really appreciate like actual face-to-face dialogue, and I spend a lot of time with my friends and talking to people all the time, guys. I get charged up off it. I love being around people and shit like that. But yeah, social media, it's like it's not a right way to gauge people. Like I just use it to promote music basically and make a couple jokes or whatever, and then like every once in a while something serious comes up. But yeah, no, I think like I'm good, definitely. I'm in one of the better places I've been in my life. Like I feel like I'm probably having a lot more emotional turmoil and struggle than I have in a long time, because shit's kind of getting real, and I'm also like relying less on escapism of like drinking and stuff like that in order to deal with shit, and I'm actually like addressing things and doing like
I think
actual
therapy is
mental
such
work.
a fucking thing that more people could benefit from.
Totally. I think everyone should do it. I'll do it for the rest of my life now. I can't believe how helpful it is. And that's another thing. It's not fun. It's not fun to go there. But when you leave, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I feel better, man. Like you just, because you can just, they know the right questions to ask to get you thinking about yourself. But yeah, with that, yeah, all aspects, like I'm kind of facing up to some shit that, you know, we all kind of go through in our 20s and stuff like that. And, you know, and it gets to points where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to deal with this, or I'm just going to have to like bury it and grit my teeth the rest of my life. But it can hold you back, right? So yeah, like I'm definitely more like, I think I'm more like emotionally kind of raw and a little yeah, like maybe a little more all over the place in that way. Like Kelly can probably attest to that if she listens to this. She's like, all right,
Dude,
buddy.
Bib too.
Yeah.
Bib too.
Yeah, like she knows that I'm working through some shit, and she's so patient, right? But and you feel embarrassed at first but then you realize that it's for the best for you and the people around you, and then you can actually help people, and you can be a good friend. You can be a better friend if you fucking, yeah, if you're not like trying to hide shit or like put on a front or being escapist or that kind of thing.
Do you ever feel like, I just had this moment tonight with my boss where I almost shy away from realness initially, then I'll embrace it. Like, do you feel that way? Like if you're talking to a friend and you know they're about to say something really heavy, do you like just right now, like I'm looking at you and I get that feeling of like, oh shit's about to go down. But then I realize like, no, this is good. This is a real thing. Do you ever get that feeling? You ever have a deep talk with someone and kind of worry like, shit, this is about to go
I have
heavy?
a tendency to constantly try to break down barriers with people and cut through the shit almost as immediately as I can. It's actually been, it can create problems at times when there is situations that require some sort of like cordial like kind of conduct, or like I'm not good in official situations and stuff like that, because I will fucking go for the joke every time, right? That because it's like, let's just say what we're all thinking. I always go for cut the shit, and then I like I'll even like impose myself sometimes, and I feel bad about it because I have it's almost like a need to like break social barriers. Like I'll just like talk to a stranger on the bus, and then if they kind of give me the feeling of like they're not comfortable talking to someone they don't know, I'll like maybe like give it another shot, you know, just to try to like.
Where does that come from, do you think? Do you think too many people are not real?
Yeah, there's just a lot of, I just can't really deal with fakeness, dude. It really fucking drives me crazy. I think probably just kind of growing up in a way where yeah, I just know I was always drawn to shit like that. Like I always like skateboarders, artists, musicians, like people that don't really care too much about what the world thinks about, if the world thinks that they're normal, and they're just people that just put themselves out there, are always the people that I've been drawn to. I always find them the most interesting, and
it's almost like admirable. Like it takes courage to be that type of person.
I don't know if you're wired that way. Like if you're wired that way, I don't think it takes a lot of courage. Like it can be a pain in the ass sometimes.
It's I think it's a minority though, people who speak their mind and who are real. Like I'm drawn to it too, and that's part of this. I like moments of realness.
Yeah. This podcast gets more and more real as the episodes go on, like, especially the later musky ones. I'm like, dude, oh my god.
The last one, it's a real shame that the last one couldn't come out, because like
what happened? It just
my audio my audio got fucked. My end is all fucking. But I think it's like in a time of uncertainty and even like the world seems fucked, and like I think it's important for people to speak their mind, or not even so much speak their mind, but be able to talk real with their friends, and help each other out, because like I don't know, isn't it in a weird way, like I feel like everyone's struggling. Like I can't think of people who are like doing well, like poor people to rich people. Like it might be just the influx of bad news that I read, but I think it's important to say you're sad or say you're angry or be vulnerable. And it's a thing of like, it's an impossibility, but I want everyone to be happy and good.
Yeah, it's natural that you, and especially the people around you, right? Like the people that are close to you, whoever you consider your family or your close friends. I mean, those are the people that you affect with your own existence and your life and your choices and how you express yourself, and they affect you, right? So like it starts there. And yeah, it's just I think it's naturally built into people to want those people to be happy around them. It's just better for,
it lifts everybody up, I think, man.
Yeah.
Do you think
sure.
people are talking like real? Like how many people?
I hope so, man.
Because I feel like this, man, like I've talked about it before, but like we play music and when you're on stage, you're exposed. It's your ideas and you're performing your art in front of people. So like for you, like we didn't grow up together, and it's not like we've spent a good amount of time together, but at least in the musician circle of like people who are genuine musicians, it's easy to talk about how you feel because you've already pretty much done it when you perform. But I wonder if like I just think about my brother or something who doesn't really have this. Is he a majority? Are we a minority? Or are we a majority? I wonder how people are doing with being able to talk to their friends in a real way.
I definitely need to insert myself into different types of social situations. I think I feel kind of like insulated a little bit.
For sure we are.
And the older you get, the smaller your friend group kind of gets, and the people that you actually connect with and talk to in a real way, that shrinks. And then so you lose your perspective on like, on the whole, like is this something that's growing? Is it getting better? Are people starting to learn how to communicate this kind of stuff with each other, or is it going the opposite way? Like I don't know. I don't really know, but it's super important. It's so important. I mean, I think I get the sense that the discussion around mental health and just general like human emotion is more common today than it has been in the past. I do get that sense and that's from what I intake with like just media and people around me and like the way that I see the world. Like I think it seems. Yeah.
But I wonder, man. Like I'm just thinking through my circles my circles are my music buddies, and then like Viv's friends, and then the people I work with. And my music buddies are the only guys that seem to. It just, when I think of like Viv's buddy's husband who just kind of works a job and commutes 2 hours a day, like I don't. But that's me assuming. Like I can't live other people's lives and know what it's like. They grew up with people who, and they've experienced their trials and tribulations, so they must, I'd hope, have someone they can talk to.
Yeah, even if it's just one person, just to have some kind of outlet. I mean, like we've said it before, like probably even on this podcast, of how spoiled you kind of feel to have the spoiled amount of people that are actually just like can hold a conversation, are willing to listen, are like
real ass people, man.
Real people that are open and genuinely care about each other. I mean, it's so rare. I think it's rare for some people. So I feel lucky to have that all the time. And but yeah, you don't really know unless you kind of like try to walk in someone's shoes about how that works. But I think being involved in art and music, it does allow you learn at a fairly young age how to break down some barriers and just kind of put yourself out there earnestly. And I think then that kind of translates into like dialogue and friendships. Like I think, it's just, I think it comes with the territory of like Whereas if you're a more right brain person and you're say like a PHP programmer or something like that, and you're not really into you expressing yourself like artistically or whatever, it's just the way that you're wired. Then you'd probably have to find that somewhere else.
If
I would
you
assume
do,
you got to have a fucking someone with a really dry job on this podcast and ask them these questions.
Yeah, maybe, man.
Yeah.
I'll be like, so what do you do when you're sad?
Yeah.
I just fucking furiously masturbate. I don't know. Who knows, man? Like we definitely have an outlet, and I, you know what? I have such a I'm lucky to have such good friends, and I feel cared for, man, which is a beautiful feeling. Like Viv, I know she loves me. I know my son loves me. I know my family loves me, but some people don't have that. I have like people who were strangers, and I feel their love. Like I was thinking about this on the way up, and I wanted to almost start this with it, where it's like you exuberate, if that's the word, love. Like anytime we've hung out, like there's this outpouring of love, man. It's like you, and like just like I have a ton of good friends, but you're one of the friends I feel like if I was in a bad mood, I just want to hang out with you. And that's a real special thing, to feel part of something and also to feel cared for. And that is because we've struggled together and we've put music out that we've had good feedback on. And I'm a real sensitive guy, man, and like I need that shit. And I know that's a thing that if I lost music, I'd like, let's say I couldn't play, or for whatever reason I couldn't do it, I would lose a big way to feel like I matter.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, you would find another outlet. Like there's always going to be some way that like your creativity comes out of you, even if you kind of lost your limbs or whatever. But like, and couldn't drum. But yeah, man. Like, I'm glad that you feel the love, because like, that's the main thing, man, for sure. Like if that's what a hippie is, then I'm a hippie. Like for sure.
That's so funny, man. Like you're like a new age hippie. I feel just in the way that you like just like bleed out lots of love.
Yeah, I just like, and I mean you're the same, dude. You put that out into the world and it comes back, and it's this. That's what people call karma, and I don't really use that word for it, but from my experience, if you navigate your life with frustration or a negative attitude, which is like, it happens to me for sure, just like anybody else, man. I'll go out with a fucking scowl on my face and not want to deal with anyone's bullshit on the TTC or whatever I'm doing, and that's a guaranteed way that I'm gonna have a shitty afternoon. It's just not gonna go well. No fucking rainbow is gonna come out when you're like when you're like out there with a fucking stank face on.
Yeah,
right? Like you have to, you got to come at it, and like, and especially because I think so much of our happiness comes from human interaction, and whether it's as micro interactions on the street or if it's like a deep long dialogue like this. It's like if you don't come at that with some kind of love or be present in it, then you won't get anything out of it. You won't get any happiness out of it, man. Dude, the most natural fucking like love beacon of a person that I know is Chad Kurzweil. He is the rhythm guitar player in Sago.
Okay, word.
Oh my god, dude. This guy is like he's just like, man, he won't even shake your hand. He has to hug you.
Really?
And he's just like so happy to just walk into the room and pick up his guitar and that we're there, and he makes sure and he tells you all the time.
That's cool.
He's just so fucking sweet, and like it's genuine, and he's uninhibited with his expression of his love for his friends and his family and his girlfriend.
That's great, man.
And yeah, I fucking, we've become like so close because of that, man. Like we'll sit on his deck and just just fucking talk for hours about bullshit, listen to music on our phones and stuff like that, because it's and just reflect like every hour or so when there's a lull in the or silence or whatever. It'll just be like, man, we're so lucky, like we're just like look at the sky and shit.
That's great,
like,
man. That shit's important right now,
Yeah.
man. I feel like it really is.
Yeah.
Maybe again, right to the beginning of what we were talking
Yeah.
about, like at the time of our lives. Like I'll take any type of positivity that I can. Like I'm not starved for it, but like fuck, man. Like it's like Mega Man with those extra tanks, those power tanks. Like I'll keep filling those tanks with like positivity as much as I can, because I'm gonna get beat down.
Yeah,
like day by day.
Comes. Yeah, it comes for sure.
Hey, look at this. So this is all the questions I have, and we've done like 2 of them.
I'll start hitting some of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know what length we're at right now.
This is gonna be a fucking
Yeah, like we're almost at an hour.
oh
Jesus.
my god.
Let's see here. Okay, well, not even so much a question, but did you listen to Nas's new record?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Slamming.
I really dug it, dude.
Love it, man.
Okay, how long is it? Is it like 9 tracks, or is it like? Because I think I've only heard like 9 tracks.
It's a shorter record. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like under 45 minutes. I think it's like just over half an hour or something like that. But it's cool. It's like an old head with like new modern perspectives, modern sounding beats that are creative and not retread like.
Yeah, I feel like each beat is kind of unique.
Oh man, it's sick. I'm not sure like who is.
Well, Kanye West executive produced it.
Okay.
Which I don't know what that fucking means.
It means money, I think.
Like what, he funded it?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know he has a track with The Dream, which is that big production team.
Yeah. I gave it 1.5 listens on Spotify, but I'm gonna go pick it up, man. It's Nas, dude.
Fuck. I've slept on him for a long time. Like, well, if I'm being honest, I really only listened to Illmatic, a couple like singles throughout his career, and then I just happened to listen. There was a Mass Appeal. It was a live stream, I think, of the listening party, and it was cool. They did it under the bridge, like Queensbridge or something.
Oh, wow.
There's footage of it online on YouTube. It's not like super clean, but dude, there's a bunch of people, these big ass stacks of speakers, and it's a listening party, and in the center, like there's a speaker here, speaker there, and it's like Nas and Kanye and like the core guys there listening to, and all vibing heavy, like.
Dude, we gotta get a good listening party going for the Sabs.
For the fuck, that's a good idea. Yeah. But it was just really cool to watch. Like that really helped me. Which is actually, I have a question about that too, about biases, but it really kind of painted the vibe of the album, and I could see the excitement on their faces, which bled into me. Like, but yeah, I really dig it, man. It's pretty cool.
That second track, when he's using a voice, he's using
Slick Rick?
a voice clip as a beat.
Oh, the Shot the Cop?
Yeah. Like
Does
that's
it start with the Richard Pryor
crazy.
bit?
Yeah,
super cool.
It kind of like hits you with like the intensity of the feeling of that, like that panic of like it's over and over and over, but and then when you stop paying attention to that's a voice looping and you start listening to the lyrics, it takes you somewhere, man. Like he's just an incredible artist, man. Like that record's crazy.
I try to like think of him as an artist and his perspective and his life experience, and he's been doing it for so long, and the message is pretty direct. It's not like crazy metaphorical, but just him. Just I think about him when he's gone and what people were gonna say about Nas.
Yeah. I mean, there's people that argue that he's the greatest ever. Like,
it's fucking so good, man.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to watch, because so it's a live stream and there's all these people, and then there's like Nas and all the homies or whatever, and then there's a camera like right here, like right there, and then I was thinking like, fuck, like Kanye and Nas and like Kanye more than anything. It's like, I thought people hated Kanye, but it's like, well, he's super tight with Nas on this record, and like I maybe he produced a few tracks. There's actually one track I think that he did. It sounds kind of Kanye-ish.
Yeah.
But it was kind of confusing, but also like intriguing. Like, what's Kanye's role like in the hip hop world with this, especially like such a banging album as this one?
They seem the two sides of it seem so disconnected to me. Like the celebrity of Kanye, the public personality of who Kanye West is, and then like the music seems so separate. Like when I listened to the new Kanye album, I was like almost forgetting that was that guy. I'm like, what? Like that's the dude with the fucking donut goatee in the gut that like is dating married to Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, it's
like,
weird,
what?
eh?
Yeah, it doesn't seem. Even though there's obviously references and stuff in his lyrics to his actual life, he's very out there and open about who he is. But like, he's just a fucking really talented guy and very, very creative, and
that's what I think too.
Awesome shit. Like, I don't understand the pursuit of celebrity. Like because I don't want that. Like that's not part of my values. Being famous. So for him to be like did it become because of the money? Did he become famous because he got swept up in the cult of personality? It's hard to say, but they just seem disconnected to me. Like,
well, it's a thing of like, what's his trajectory? Like, is there a game plan to all of this? Like his celebrity and fashion tying into because he's a super influential guy. His wife is this super influential woman. Like I don't understand it at all. But hearing the Nas record was kind of like, okay, it's cool. Like he's a talented guy. Like he's got his strengths in that, and it's not executive produced. I don't exactly know what it means, but I like to paint it in that he had a hand in choosing and just put a touch on the record to make it great. Because I think it's a great record.
Yeah, it sounds more modern and less like classic boom bap than I was expecting, and maybe that is maybe that's the Yeezy touch there, you know.
Who knows, man?
Yeah,
who fucking knows? We're just two chumps on a couch. Like, it's not like we can fucking call him.
But yeah, I don't know.
Let's go through these questions here because I don't want to go too long.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty good beer, eh?
I really like it.
Yeah, we're sipping on Against the Current.
Sour.
Yeah. It's a I've actually learned to fucking really love this beer.
Black currant is amazing. That's you know what it reminds me of is there's this stuff. It's like a sugary syrup that you mix with fizzy soda water or water or whatever, called Ribena. It's a British thing, and it's black currant flavored. Like any British person listening to this will know what Ribena is. And so like I grew up eating that or drinking that, so anything that's flavored as black currant, I love it. Like those what are they called, wine gums, the black ones, black
you love
flavor.
those.
Oh yeah, dude. It's the good shit.
I was gonna, because we're talking about like I trust your musical tastes. Like I feel like you as a filter, music coming through it is pretty pure, but it's a question of when you're listening to something, how do you listen to it without letting your friends' biases, reviews biases, like, so if I'm an artist and I create something, it's my version of art, and I'm sending it to you, so you receive that. Some people receive that mad tainted because of reviews, biases. How do you, I feel like you are able, and I could be wrong, but you are able to take that version of the artist's art like super pure. Maybe I'm wrong, but how do you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you let biases fuck up a first listen of Nas's record?
I stopped reading music journalism right around the time that I left Exclaim, for the most part, because I found that it was really, there's not much of a line now between music journalism and music marketing. They're kind of the same thing. So it's just like, and all that. I think I got really exhausted by like terminology and like subgenres and all this kind of stuff, where it's like all the like what like you people having to say like what kind of band are you? It's like they have to have like a journalistic term attached to it so that people know how to take it in, all that kind of stuff. It got really exhausting to me, so I kind of left it alone. Now but now from friends' opinions, I definitely can't I can't like listen to, if someone's given me an opinion on something and then I listen to it, that is gonna be sticking with me while I'm listening to it. Like I can't, like, even if I disagree with what they said, like
still stick?
it's still in there. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I see that criticism like of what that is, but
it definitely kind of sucks because like you like like an artist, it's their thing. Like I'm thinking about someone was shitting on Kendrick's newest album, and it's kind of like so crazy to shit on something because it's like that's just their most recent vision of their thoughts.
What, like someone didn't like the Damn album?
Yes, like it was like a bad review of it.
So stupid.
Which is crazy because
it's
like
amazing. It's like, yeah, it's like fucking listen to it.
if
that's a man pouring his heart out in like 9 different ways.
If it's coming from the heart, that's the best version of art that they're able to do. If they really tried their best to make the best, it's like, how do you intake that as pure to their vision as you can? It's
so objective. Like, I think also around the time of like stopping caring if something cool is cool or not, or if liking something makes me cool. Like once I became enough of an old man to like not give a shit about that anymore, it really, really helped me enjoy music even more. Like I found a way now to just I can enjoy music even more than I did growing up in a lot of ways. Like okay, obviously there's certain shit like that, you know, the first time you heard it blew your mind, like fucking when Brad played like Minor Threat for me the first time. You know, and you'll never capture that youthful feeling of like hearing those classic things that change your life like for the first time. But in the general like sense of just being open to like, hey, this is supposed to be I heard this is cool, or this press photo looks cool, or whatever it is that makes you interested to actually listen to something. Like coming at it objectively as in like, I don't know, I'm gonna just pretend I don't even know what this is, and then just like soak it in, and then if it makes you feel good, then fucking you like it, and if it makes you feel like, nah, I don't really like it, like fucking turn it off, right? Like I tried the new Fetty Wap album. I don't like it. It's just too much auto-tune. I don't think there's enough substance in the lyrics. I don't really want to listen to it. Like it just made me feel not good, and like I'm not gonna sink a whole bunch of time into trying to like it, even though I maybe liked some of his other shit. Then like, you know, oh, I hear this interview with this guy Kamasi Washington on a podcast. It's like a jazz composer who I've never heard of, and they don't play a lick of his music on the podcast, but I just thought he seemed like an interesting dude, and I put his record on, and it like floored me, and now I'm obsessed, and I'm seeing this, like I have all his records now. He actually dropped a new one today, which I haven't even listened to yet.
That's great when you can kind of just almost capture that essence of when you were young and didn't know any better, and you're just innocent, and you can listen to music like through just like wide-eyed, like, whoa, this is fucking rad. It's kind of rare these days.
Man, I think you gotta, it's another one where you have to force yourself to do it, like, because I can so easily just wake up and be like, what am I gonna listen to on my dog walk? I'll just put on like some LA comedian talking about their lives. That's a comfort zone, right? It's like, if I'm gonna listen to music, I have to force myself, like, okay, I'm going to this place now where, like, you know, the new Wu-Tang might suck, but I'm gonna give it a shot here, or like that, or like a record that you love, that you know it makes you feel a certain type of way, so you're gonna put it on. Like, music's so emotional that it's like sometimes it's a bit of a barrier to like get yourself like, okay, I'm gonna listen to an album, or like listen to a song.
True.
But
you almost want to do it the service of like letting yourself fully be encompassed by it all.
Kinda, yeah. Or just put something on. Just fucking put something on. Like, that's the thing. Like, so it's so easy to sit there and be like, just listen to like your fucking air conditioner hum, or like the din of like a radio in the background, or a fucking something on TV. It's like, just throw a record on, or something on Spotify, and like, you'll find yourself. It takes you places for sure.
Have you ever heard of this dude named Alpha Mist?
No.
It was just straight up a random YouTube thing. Like, I think it was a YouTube suggestion, but fuck, it's like this kind of jazz hip hop, low key kind of.
That's kind of enough there.
Vibey,
for me to,
like, but kind of like chill.
Yeah.
And it was a thing where I'm like, I was able to listen to it, no biases, just kind of like, what is this? I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I've listened, like, it's this year it's gotten like, it'll be my go-to kind of YouTube thing in the morning. It's my shit. Yeah, it's great.
It just becomes your thing. Oh man, I love that.
I know.
Oh, it's so good. What's it called? Alpha Mist.
Alpha Mist. The image is like, almost looks like a Peanuts sort of parody.
Okay, you gotta link me that, man.
Yeah.
Remember when you came over one time and I was listening to that Mad Lib Blue Note thing, and you're like, dude, I was just listening to this in the car.
It's great.
I think about that every time I put that on now. Like,
there's a new, I just saw today, DJ Muggs and Doom thing that just came out.
Muggs Doom. Yeah, that's cool.
I follow Quasimodo, which is Madlib, on
dude.
Instagram, and he just posted it today.
Man, talk about vibey beats, like production wise, like
Madlib.
Oh, dude,
it's great. Did you ever that J-Lib shit he did with Jay Dilla?
Yeah.
I gotta get my teeth into it more, but it's great. Like, on a first, like.
Yeah, for sure. That was my introduction to Dilla. I didn't
really
listen to like Donuts or anything.
Did you watch? There's a thing on YouTube of how Dilla humanized the MPC.
MPC.
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes. It's fucking really cool, man.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
They break it down, kind of like how he used it, how he was just kind of like fuck quantize.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it so much better to not like lean on that technology too much.
You ever heard of Cult of the Damned?
The name is familiar, but I don't know what it is.
They're like a group from the UK, like 9 guys. It's just real fucking raw, filthy hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, but like, not Wu-Tang-esque, but just young and gnarly, like dark.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I like like you say, young. Like, I like the youthful anger in my hip hop a lot of the time. Like that's something that it gets me stoked, and I think maybe just growing up with punk rock and hip hop that way too, it's like I really like that. And so I run into something now a lot of times with like people around our age where they're like, rap ain't what it used to be, and they
like mumble rap sucks.
Yeah, and all that stuff, and I'm like, what do you mean? And they'll call like anything with a trap beat mumble rap. It's like, listen to what's being said here, man. This is actually fucking really clever, good rapping, and it's angry youths. Like, this is like real, actual music that's coming from a real place, and you're dismissing it because you don't understand the accent, or it doesn't sound like Capone and Noriega or something, like
you posted something like that, but like exactly that like people shitting on mumble or new rap or whatever because it's not it's like that's what a lot of punk rock kind of was like, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not good.
Like, oh man, there's so much incredible new hip hop out there, or rap, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's really like genre bending now, right? But it's fucking awesome. I mean,
who I want to get into is that guy that just died, that Triple X. How do you say it?
Extentation or whatever.
It's not extension, but it's like
I never listened to his music. He's a troubled guy and like had a fucking just has a real negative impact on some people's lives and shit, I think. But
So
like,
so how so? Because I don't know anything about this guy except that he just fucking got murdered.
a troubled fucking young dude that was like abusive and to his girlfriend, and was just like, just had a lot of fucking deep issues, man. But like, you know, just a fucked up artist type of dude. And but I only know this because of post-mortem articles that I read. I try to pay attention to that.
Well,
kind of shit.
that's my Instagram kind of thing, is like, oh, this guy died. And
but yeah, so I mean, anytime, like,
have you heard much of it, or
no? I haven't really listened to much of the music at all. I was talking about this with peers yesterday. Like, so at first, you know, I see, you know, a bunch of rappers that I follow and kind of respect on Instagram going like, hey man, this young rapper died, this is so sad. And then they talk about black on black violence and all this kind of stuff, and then it's just really sad. And then you see, you know, a few hours go by and then someone says something about like, oh, that guy was a piece of shit anyways, like, dude, like, when you're like, what? And then you start kind of digging and seeing like what, you know, what happened. And then so I was like, yeah, man, like, that's just a bad life to have lived, you know. And like, and then somebody was like, hey, if Martin Luther King died when he was 20, he would have died, you know, like, whatever. I'm not going to quote it because I don't know like what, but it was basically all these specific people who actually ended up changing humanity in like a really positive way, who had troubled lives and were like kind of shitty people when they were kids, right? If they had died when they were 20.
I see. Yeah.
So
they weren't able to develop into like better people.
And then it was like, you know, like, there's always room for people to change, and so then that put like a third spin on the whole thing for me, and I was just like, wow, this is fucking intense. And like, this things happens every fucking day, but it's not always a famous SoundCloud rapper, so we don't, but that's what celebrity does, or even internet fame. It kind of like, and gives you a little like glimpse into like a world, you know, and encapsulates something because it's in the public eye. But yeah, I know that was trippy, man. It
was trippy. Do you like that Little Pump guy?
No, I don't really. Yeah, I don't really like Pump or Peep or Xan or like.
It's too many.
Yeah.
Did you see the fucking Nardwuar interview with Lil Pump?
No, I should watch
It's like
that.
5 minutes. It's super short. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't really like any of that shit. I always try, man, because I know it's big and like, I get it to a degree.
Well, I try
like,
too.
I'm usually looking for like, just some kind of storytelling in hip hop. Like, funny enough, man, like, guys that are a little bit older, but they roll with the times of music and they evolve along with music, or like Gucci and like even like 2 Chainz and guys like that are like, they work with modern producers, they evolve as music goes along, but they have this kind of like this good old like rap storytelling style and ability to like take you somewhere with their songs, which even if they're, you know, it doesn't have to be like the most intellectually stimulating thing. It can just be like just a feeling or something, just like something interesting. So that's kind of where my kind of old white guy brain ends with hip hop. Like, it's really hard for me to like get into some of the really dank like modern SoundCloud shit.
Well, I try because I don't want to be that old guy that's like, this doesn't sound like blah blah blah, and I'm not gonna like it.
So
like,
embarrassing when people, I'm like, oh, stop talking.
Like the Little Pump stuff, like it's simple, and it's like, it's not like a nursery rhyme, but it's good in that it's like a great put on at a party thing, which that has to exist. There's a it doesn't have to exist, but like, it exists in that realm, and I can't I'm not gonna shit on it because that realm exists. Like if I want to have a party and just put on some like banging ass shit, like I could easily
dude.
put on some Little Pump to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
hype. Just real stupid like.
I torture the guys at the jam space because we have like you know, we can plug our phone into the PA and like I'm always the first guy in there, so I'm just like like
throwing balls.
yeah, Bo's like I torture Piers with it. We had an argument last night. He put on Getting Jiggy with it.
Oh Jesus!
And I'm
He
like,
did.
yeah, and he's like, you ever really listen to the song, man? It's so good. I'm like, it's not good, dude.
No, it's not.
He's like, listen to the wordplay. And I'm like, oh man. And he's like, it's better than all that trap stuff that you like. I'm like, and then I made him listen to Human Glacier, like Gucci Mane Human Glacier, the new one.
Never heard that one.
And he's like, this just sounds like a joke to me. It just sounds like a joke. Like he just couldn't handle it.
Oh,
It's so loud though. He's put it so loud. It's amazing. Like that. It's like it's made to make you feel like you want to just go buck.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Yeah.
That like
Me and Jesse went and saw 2 Chainz with Murder Beats at like
shit.
not that long ago. Yeah, like
Oh, wow.
a couple weeks ago.
Where's that Murder Beats guy from? He looks like
Fort
from
Erie, bro.
Scotland. That white guy.
Yeah, he's from Fort Erie.
To me, I'm like
right across from Buffalo.
You know why? Because he kind of reminds me of the guy from Game of Thrones, like the scraggly kind of hair white guy.
Yeah, he looks like a kid you went to high school with. Right?
Wow, he's from Fort Erie.
Yeah, he's from Fort Erie.
Wow.
Yeah, he's it's so funny. Like he's like making crazy amount of money from his #1 hits for all these artists. Like, and
Drake. He's with Drake.
Drake. Oh, dude, so many. Like, he just put out a song with me. Yeah. What's the dude's name from Migos?
Quavo.
Quavo. Yeah.
Quavo.
Yeah. Quavo, Drake, and 2 Chainz. And
How much did he make on that?
I don't know, but it's like on his Instagram, it's all these personal trainers being like trying to get him to get buff.
What?
They're like, hey man, call me, because he's a skinny white kid from they're like, man, if you're making that kind of money 5 years now, I could have you looking like the white 50 Cent, dude. You gotta it's so funny. Predators. They're like fitness predators.
Yeah. Just salivating.
I'm like, keep it scrawny, dude. Yeah.
Let me dude, I know we could go for
I know,
fucking ever.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot we were recording.
Yeah.
The thing I didn't touch on was the new Sago shit that's coming out. Is
Yep.
that next month or so? Flood. What is it called?
Flood Island.
Yes.
And it's coming out on September 1st.
Okay.
And
Is it a full length or is it an EP?
It's 10 songs.
Oh, word.
Yeah, and it's coming out on September 1st. But we've got some road dates, so we're gonna sell we have CD versions of the album that we're gonna sell on the road dates, but none in Toronto until the release show.
Okay. When is that? Do you know when the release show is?
Yeah, September 1st.
September.
Yeah. So we're just kind of sitting on it until then. So yeah, we're just getting the LPs.
So you're doing LPs too?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. We just want to. We put like a lot of work into it, and it's just a fucking rips, man. We have one song out called Squealer.
That's with the video.
Yeah, with the vid. It's just like a little DIY vid that Chad.
That's pretty cool.
That Chad did. Yeah, it turned out really rad. He just did one for Dirty Work too. It's like really cool. It's like a house party vid. But yeah, man, that shit's it's on its way out. We're not like a fast moving band. Like we just kind of do shit at our own pace, but I'm really proud of it, and it's just gnarly, man. It's so fucking awesome.
That track, man, is fucking rad as fuck. It's
Thanks,
like
dude.
really like more frantic, and it's just one track, but like I don't know what the whole vibe of the album's gonna be, but like it's
yeah,
it's like weirdly more there's more youth to it, I feel like, than in that one track. Like the last record, like the Garbage Strike thing is like gnarly too, but at least with Squealer, it's more like it doesn't sound like older guys playing it.
yeah, we're trying to we try to make fun of ourselves as much as we can for being old and make sure that we try to sound as young as we can. Like seriously, like we try to like tap into that kind of youthful fucking feeling when we play. Like I started doing punk jumps at practice now.
Yeah, sick.
Like
blow your back out.
No, man, I'm good. but like yeah. It's like it's just it's a direct path right back to that feeling of like visceral hardcore punk. Like that's what that music is. So it's like the last thing you want to be is the guy playing really fast but like just staring at his fretboard, right? Like you gotta fucking,
it's coming, man.
You gotta be that. Fuck that, dude. I'm out before that happens, man. Dude, I will be as goofy as I need to be on stage forever, man. I admire, like, David Yao is like fucking heroic, man.
Yeah,
you know, guys like that, like just give her. Or who's that dude from like Hot Snakes and Rocket from the Crypt and all that shit? John.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I just
Drive Like Jehu. God, he was in fucking so much awesome shit.
Yeah.
That guy's a badass, and he really just like he's plays youthfully well into his like 40s or whatever. He's like 50s.
Yeah. Well, we could, you know, if I can keep my stretches up, I hope to be that older guy. But let's fucking play some of it, man. Like, let's play Squealer, I guess, if it's the first one, or I don't know.
Dude, let's do like an exclusive.
Oh shit!
Shit!
White exclusive. What do I got?
Galloping Beauty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. Fuck. So if people listening, you get the exclusive listen to Sago's. What's the new Flood Island?
Flood Island. So
okay.
we try to do the themes are like the results of like human negligence on the planet that manifest themselves in our city. Mm-hmm. So like the first one was citywide garbage strike, and it was a picture of the Christie Pits full of garbage during the garbage strike. And then this one was like last year we couldn't go to the island, man, because the water levels are so high that the whole goddamn thing flooded and the weather was fucked. It hadn't done that since like the 1920s or something.
Jesus.
So we call it Flood Island, but it's,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it in. This is the Hipzine track.
Here.
Right here.
The classic Muskie. Right?
Yeah.
No, wait. Here.
What is it called again?
Galloping Beauty.
Galloping Beauty. Right here. Okay, cool. That was that. Shit, man. Let me. That was it. I can't believe. Is that the time? 11:53.
Yep.
Fuck.
I know.
I'm old.
Buddy.
I'll close this off at a later date, just because I don't remember all this shit right now.
Yeah, do like a wrap up.
But Cross, man, thanks for hanging. Thanks for being my friend, and for taking the time to talk about whatever. And I hope we can both get old together.
Yeah, dude. So far, so good. You know.
So far, so good.
I think there was like a jump in the middle of this podcast where like it was almost like we were getting to some sort of like realization or something, and then it was like, let's talk about rap for a bit. Like, you want to talk about hip hop? Yeah.
Whatever, man.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it.
But how do people people can? Yeah. So I should mention too. If you need your vinyl pressed, you got to hit up Yokai. Yokai.ca.
Yeah, we got to get some more episodes, man. I got to fucking do another sponsor.
Yeah, shit. Well, we Grabera worked with you guys. Sabs did. Who else, man? Like, did Miller work with you guys?
Scott Miller. Yeah, Ancient Temple. They do all their stuff, and he actually helps us out. Like he kind of reps for us out east too, which is amazing. But yeah, man, we've done Garbage Face, Bazaraba, fucking the Grabera Sabs.
And it's vinyl and CD.
Yep, vinyl and CD. Yeah, basically, yeah, we're brokers. So, and we have a mastering engineer and 2 graphic designers. So we can help you assemble your artwork. We can design for you. We can master your shit for CD. We have an awesome network of other people that can help with like vinyl mastering, cutting lacquers, like whatever you need to do. It's kind of like a one-stop shop for that stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's I think it's kind of daunting maybe for some people to do it for the first time, or just it's a corner of the business that not a lot of people know about.
Yeah,
it's you guys make it easier.
It's a little. We just try to. We try to make it easy and we keep we do everything from the home office here. Try to keep the overheads really low so that we can keep the prices low, so we can do like punk records and metal records and make it accessible. Like you can just buy bulk vinyl off us and like make your own jackets if you want. You could do like 100 bulk vinyls. It's cheap, right? If you wanted to, or all the way up to like fucking gatefold shit. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, do it. Yeah. Yokai.ca. I'll put the link in the bio. And follow Sago. What is it? Sago Punks at
Sago. Yeah. YYZ. You'll find it. Yeah,
okay. I'll link all that shit. And follow Crossley Oat Soda. Right. That's still your thing.
Yep. _soda.
And I'll close this off after the fact. But Cross,
Steve, thanks for having me on this. I fucking love being on this show.
I love
listening to this show, and you find really interesting people that are like not the. It's like you dig to find fucking awesome people, and you ask really cool questions and have good conversations.
Well, this is fun shit. So as long as I can do it, I'm probably still gonna do it.
Hell yeah!
All right, cheers. Cool. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Taker Wide. Go to takerwide.com, check the homepage. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, sign up for the newsletter on the homepage. If you haven't yet, follow the podcast on Instagram. It's Taker Wide Podcast. What else? I don't know. Subscribe, rate and review. I guess I'm asking a lot of you guys, but just thank you guys for supporting this and supporting the show and all my endeavors. If you're in Waterloo, July 7th, I'm at Chainsaw as part of the punk rock flea market there, so I'll be talking to people, maybe do a little live stream. What can I say? Love to the sponsors, the Heartbeat Hot Sauce, heartbeathotsauce.com. Use promo code TakerWide5. DFA Tattoos out in Montreal, 328 St. Catherine Est. Kevin Rigo of Hefner Toyota mentioned the show, and you'll get special pricing on new vehicles. Dapper Beard Oil, that's a beard oil company. Use promo code TakerWide free ship for your free shipping, save your money. Wellington Brewery for the beers, and Dave Levitt Photography for the love and the support. I don't know. In closing, just thank you guys always for giving a shit and listening and supporting this. And I will see you guys out there, I'm sure, at some point. And until then, have a good week and be safe. Okay? Peace. Peace, guys.